So, by the time we're recording this, is probably I believe this is like the day after the Pokemon and Presents whole thing went on because now the franchise has been around for 30 years, and I wanted to talk about like the upcoming Gen 10 games because I may be in the minority with this mindset, but I'm going to hopefully explain this the best that I can. And if anybody has any questions on anything they want me to elaborate on in this video, please feel free to do so in the comments. I would love to clear up any misconceptions of anyway. But you see here on Wikipedia, if you go up looking Pokemon video game series, they've got all the main series games here that we got with the timeline, going all the way back to Generation 1. And of course, the words being, as they say up here in bold, are the new are for each generation. So like 96 through 98, you had red and green and blue in Japan, and then here in America, yellow, red, and blue, gold, silver, crystal for Gen 2. Gen 3 had ruby, sapphire, emerald, leaf green, fire red, etc. So, in the last couple generations, we also had games with DLC, because like Moki Mayhem, okay, I guess it's another way to say a hidden area for the DLC for Scarlet and Violet. You had the stuff for Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra. Legends ZA, they had the Mega Dimensions, even though it's not listed here, but still, it's in there. And we see that there are a lot of games that have happened within all these games and everything. One thing I noticed, and I was even talking to one of my coworkers here, is that with Generation 9 that I'm seeing, that I remembered, we technically only have 3 main series games in Generation 9, being Scarlet, Violet, and Legends ZA, which is the least amount of games we've had for a generation since Generation 2, with Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Everything else has got at least 4 games. Because, Black, White, Black 2, White 2, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, I forgot it was even Gen 7. I thought it was Gen 8 just because you'd think with the jump to the new console would have been a little bit different. Sword and Shield, Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, Legends Arceus, stuff like that. So this is the least amount of mainline games, just standalone titles without including DLC, that we've seen for a generation since Generation 2. And I'm even in that group that wishes that hopefully before the new Winds and Waves games come along, we can at least maybe get a Gen 5 remake, add a little something extra to this one, maybe even give a Pokemon Home compatibility, which I'll talk about Pokemon Home also in just a bit, but add compatibility where you bring in certain Pokemon from those Generation 5 remake games, Pokemon to Pokemon Home, you fill out the Pokedex, you get a shiny Victini. Because that's never been released as shiny and it would fit, so it's we could have that as long as it's given more time compared to Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl. But we saw in this presentation now that Winds and Waves are the brand new upcoming games that have just been announced that are going to be for Generation 10, and I'll bring it up here on Wikipedia. This is going to be Nintendo Switch 2 only. Because I remember even when I talked to my coworkers saying that if Generation 10 releases, there's no way it's going to be on the main Switch, because we saw that there were some issues with kind of any playability with frame rates in certain spots with Scarlet and Violet. Legends Arceus, I think, has been working pretty well on its own for the Switch. I haven't come across any hiccups personally. But now this is going to be the first one that's going to be exclusive to the current console and everything, and I don't even have this one just yet. But it's been revealed, and I was looking at this and I'm just thinking, does it feel a bit too soon to be announcing that a new one's coming out? Because I know we just had the new Legends ZA game released back in October. Scarlet and Violet, that was 5 years ago. In fact, let me see what the release dates were for this one as a quick refresher. November 18, 2022, so depending on what part of the year, early or late, it'll determine it being 4.5 to 5 years between the first game of Generation 9 compared to the first game of Generation 10. And the only new Pokemon we saw were the starters and everything. So we don't have a whole lot of information in terms of what new is going to be when this game officially releases worldwide next year. But part of me is thinking that it's a bit too soon to really look at, see this, because I mentioned, Generation 9 doesn't have that many mainline games. We haven't seen that much of a gap, though. I feel like we could have gone maybe another year between these two because, of how limited it feels in terms of, new content we've gotten with this generation compared to the other ones. I know we've got, 3-year windows here and everything, is 96, in Japan and everything for the first generation, then 3 years, 3 years, 4 years for Generation 4 with Diamond and Pearl, another 4 for Generation 5, another 3 for X and Y. So 3 to 4 years, but it feels like it doesn't feel like there's been enough stuff to really hold us over in this generation to really get us prepared, get me like fully on board to get ready for Generation 10. But also, if we remember, because like I know they just released Leaf Green Fire Red because it's been 20 years since the game's been out, a little over 21, but still. And it's a 30-year anniversary of Red and Green, so like the remakes of these coming over, and we got the events that were confirmed to be released once you finish the Hall of Fame, and people have been mixed on the reactions. I actually got both games because I still love them, but we also got to remember, like, even we're still not fully certain about compatibility yet with Leaf Green Fire Red, because I think there's still some questions up in the air, and we still do not have Pokemon Home compatibility yet with Legends EA. Like, I know we're getting Pokemon Champions coming up within the next couple of months, and I think there's supposed to be compatibility there. Whether or not that's going to count as a main series game, that I doubt it. Like, maybe it will, because it's technically going to be Pokemon Home compatible in a way. Because, like, with the battle system and everything there, but I mean, you look at that game, it's kind of like Stadium and everything, and we see here that wasn't counted as a mainline game. But who knows, maybe Pokemon can clarify on that, but seeing how we don't even have Legends ZA with home compatibility even after all these months still, like, I wish we would have had a Pokemon home compatibility connection here with Legends ZA before we started to get the announcement of the new Winds and Waves games for Generation 10, because it feels like we're speeding along with stuff before any other promises or any guarantees are going to finally be taken care of first. Because like I said, Scarlet and Violet's all taken care of with the DLC and any compatibility. Legends EA, we still don't see it yet. Even after 4 months, not knowing like which Pokemon can fully be transferred, which ones can't, there's certain limitations. I know it's still a bit uneasy with that, even with the DLC. Leaf Green, Fire Red, I think there's still questions on that. I think I even heard somebody saying that the ROM emulators that's using for Leaf Green, Fire Red are going to be the same as Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Maybe we'll get those 3 games over as well, and hopefully so, because there are certain Pokemon we need in the Pokedex for Leaf Green, Fire Red that can't be done without those other games, like Umbreon and everything, because of the day-night cycle. But, like I said, it just feels to me like I wish we would have seen an official, like, at least a release date, maybe, for Legends EA Pokemon Home compatibility, because, again, we've been waiting for this for the last few months, and I'm playing the game just about every day, and I've got a lot of Pokemon, especially Shinies, that I want to get out of Legends EA and put them out of home, because I'm trying to do the whole Shiny living decks and everything. But it's like, you look at a lot of these games and everything, like, you're seeing the listing with the generation, like, Red, Blue, Yellow, that's where my love got started when it all started and stuff. You mentioned the spin-off games like TCG, Pokemon Snap, Stadium and all that stuff. Gen 2, Gold, Silver, and Crystal, love that stuff. Generation 3, I'm glad they brought that with Leaf Green, Fire Red again. I'm hoping Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald comes along, especially Emerald. I still never finished that with the Battle Frontier. Gen 4, they went to the DS models and everything, and I would like to see Generation 5 get a remake. I wonder how they'd be able to do that, because, like, we know Generation 4 through most of 7 up until, like, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee had games that were on dual screens. They had to figure a way to make it work with Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, with some weird feedback there to be given for it. I know some people were even spreading rumors, why not Heart Gold, Soul Silver remake? I mean, I know people have also spread the rumors saying, oh, we could get a Let's Go iteration like we saw with Let's Go, the Kanto games with Pikachu and Eevee. Do it for Gen 2. Then Gen 5, I still have like the least memories of this one. 6 being XY, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire. 7, the Sun and Moon series. 8, Sword Shield, the DLC there. And now Generation 9, we see the stuff with Scarlet and Violet, Legends EA. So you got the Nintendo Switch 2 port. We got all that. First appearance of Mega Evolution Pokemon and Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, good. But again, I'm still, like, I just wish we would get this compatibility first for home before we get ready for the next one. Because, like, I get it, we still got over a year before this officially happens, but, like, even with an announcement, I would have liked to have waited just a little bit before this was even done yet. But it's just like, I know that's just me. Maybe some other people might think differently, but just let me know in the comment section below. What do you all think about this release of Generation 10? Do you feel it might be a bit too soon? Or do you feel it's alright? And is anybody else in agreement that they wish that the Pokemon Home compatibility would have been done first, or at least even announced for a window, like release date area for Legends ZA before Generation 10 came along? Because it's just like, I kept hearing people saying, like, oh, Gen 10, Gen 10, when's Gen 10? I just kept thinking, like, it feels too soon to even be speculating on that. like seeing videos all over the place and spreading rumors and everything. It's just like, it just feels like Gen 10 or Gen 9 just started, and now all of a sudden people are ready for the next one already. It's like, we've already got over 1,000 Pokemon with every active main series game combined, including like with Meltan and Melmetal when you include Pokemon Home, or Pokemon Go technically, with the transfer and everything there. And I know we can, I don't know, remember if we get in Legends EA or not with certain hyperspace dimensions, because again, I haven't done that many 5 stars yet. But yeah, I just wish they would hold off just a little bit. But I mean, and hopefully I'll have a Nintendo Switch 2 by then. But let me know in the comment section below, once again, do you guys think that Gen 10 announcement's happening a bit too soon? And when do you, like, also think that we're going to see this compatibility with Legends EA? Because like I said, that's the one thing I'm still waiting on. And I know a lot of people are waiting on that too, and maybe some more clarification for Leaf Green Fire Red. And I think people are even saying that even Leaf Green Fire Red, they don't have the stuff that was supposed to be released for the Altering Cave in there, which is a big bust there too. It's like, give us what we wanted. Anyway, let me know let me know what you all thought in the comment section below. It's been a long few weeks, folks. I apologize for my missing word, but just let me know what you thought in the comment section below, and I'll catch you all next time. Thanks for watching, folks. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, and good day, everybody.